We now come to another special moment, the Lifetime Achievement Award, sponsored by the Claude Duffield Foundation. This was chosen by the Jewish News and honours an extraordinary individual whose work over many years has had a unique and significant impact on both the Jewish community and the wider world. If we could have a little bit of silence, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a very special guest. To make the presentation, we're delighted to have with us this evening the leader of the Labour Party. From 1994 to 2007, he is also a very good friend and admirer of the recipient and someone you just might have heard of. Possibly because he was very much in the public eye some years ago when he ran the country. Since then, he's maintained a high profile on the world stage, in particular working as Special Envoy of the Middle East Quartet. Please welcome the Right Honourable Tony Blair.
Thank you very much. It's very... Can't say I'm used to that, frankly. So thank you. It's a wonderful pleasure and honour to be with you tonight to honour and pay tribute to Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, who is going to be the recipient of the Lifetime Achievement Award. I think it's wonderful to have the Night of Heroes, and I'd like to thank Jewish News, the Claude Duffield Foundation, Teddy Sagi, and everyone who's made this happen. And I remember meeting up with Jonathan shortly after I became Prime Minister. And I said to him, you know, I envy you, Jonathan. Here am I, I've got a whole country to manage. You've only got to manage the Jewish community. And he paused and said to me, I feel your envy is somewhat misplaced, Prime Minister. Jonathan has courtesy, charm, insight, above all, extraordinary scholarship combined with the ability to make learning come alive and have meaning, to enlighten the listener like me without ever making them feel stupid. It was him who inspired me to reread the Torah, what we call the Old Testament, and rediscover its power and its wisdom. Why did the Bible devote more time to the building of the temple than to the creation of the world? And why was it right that the Tower of Babel, representing one language amongst all people, fell, and it was right that it fell? All this his dazzling intellect put before me. And yet, the mission of Jonathan Sacks has never been to dazzle, but to educate. The Jewish community makes an immense contribution to Britain, of which it is rightly proud. It embodies the best of Jewish values the world over: ambition, creativity, compassion. And Jonathan, in his time as Chief Rabbi, explained it, represented it, celebrated it, and where necessary, defended it. And Britain's Jewish community is something to be celebrated and something that is deserving of being defended by all of us. I do not want to see anti-Semitism rear its ugly head ever in this nation. Not in this country, not in our time, not in any space in our national life, and certainly not in any political party. So, shortly Jonathan turns 70, as does the State of Israel. I've recently come back from my 190th visit to Israel since leaving office, So it's now something like a second home. But he was the very first to describe to me properly that Israel is not just a state, but an idea, and not only a nation, but the homeland of a people. I came back in the early hours of this morning from the Middle East, and what Jonathan so brilliantly describes in The Dignity of Difference, we hope to see in active cooperation between Arab nations and the State of Israel. We hope and we look forward to it. And among Jonathan's many qualities is his ability to extract signs of hope from times of trouble. In his writings, he always searches for the way through, not ignoring the evidence for pessimism in the human condition, for that is realism, but charting a path for its eventual surrender to progress, for that is idealism. For him, his Jewish faith and obedience to the will of God are indispensable companions on that path. And it is this faith which has taken him to the heights of achievement and respect. But it is also his Jewish faith which has kept him rooted, a prophetic voice, but one grounded in constant curiosity, striving, and humility. So, we honor him tonight for all that he has said and done, but I know that he would consider it the greatest honor if we took what he said as a guide and what he has done as an example. On the award that he's about to be given are the words of Rabbi Hillel. And it was, of course, Rabbi Hillel who famously, when he was asked to recite the Torah standing on one leg, stood indeed on one leg and said, "Do to others as you would have them do unto you." That is the true meaning of the Torah. Everything else is commentary. Go learn it. On his two legs, and in rather more words, Jonathan Sacks has brought light, understanding, and spiritual hope, not only to Jews everywhere, but to people of all faiths the world over. Jonathan, you are one of my heroes. Thank you. You deserve this award.
It's very easy to see why he's saying that. He has read and thought and reflected through his life at a profound level, and you get the benefit of that. He does that without ceasing to be someone to whom you can relate. There is this great commitment to interpersonal relationship, and that makes leadership possible.
The great thing about Rabbi Sacks is that he's thinking of the whole audience, and it's so rare to come across that. It's a universality that you see once in a generation.
He has stood up in the face of those who have said, from terrorists to extremists to others, that coexistence between the different nations and different religions is impossible. He has stood up against them and said it is possible amidst diversity to find unity, amidst disagreement and debate to find harmony. And he has been a great prophet of this idea of global citizenship. And I believe that he is a hero in our times because he is one of the greatest global citizens we have.
One of the things that's always inspired me whenever I've spent any time with Rabbi Lord Sacks is his own innate curiosity and his desire to understand the world and his desire to try new things. There is no question that Rabbi Sacks is without doubt one of the best communicators alive today, whether he's from the pulpit, whether he's from the social media platforms, whether he's engaging one-on-one with you. His ability to tell a story, well, there's nobody like him.
Jonathan, this reward is wholly inadequate. Nothing can match and honour sufficiently what you have done for us in this country, for the religious communities, for the Anglicans, for me personally. Congratulations, and may God continue to bless and strengthen you.
Congratulations, Rabbi Sacks, on winning the Lifetime Achievement Award. So thrilled for you, so richly deserved, and a great big mazel tov to you and Elaine.
Rabbi Sachs, for 3 decades of the most extraordinary broadcasting, it's a real privilege to be able to say congratulations and a very heartfelt thank you.
Would I care to say? Thank you and bless you. First of all, David, thank you for all you've done this evening. You get a straight pass to conversion from me. If you can't vouch for all the other members of the Beit Din, but Tony, thank you for being such an incredible and steadfast friend of the Jewish community and of Israel. You are a friend we've always counted on. You never let us down. We love you, we admire you. I must tell you the most Jewish thing, the best thing I ever heard from Tony Blair was when he once said, "I agree with Rabbi Sachs about everything there, that proves I'm not Jewish." But thank you and bless you. Thank you, the Jewish News, for this incredible evening celebrating all the remarkable achievements of our community. And the truth is, I only accept this award on behalf of our community. There is no real community like ours. We've traveled the world and we've seen what an incredible community this is. And we have seen it this Night of Heroes. And I wondered, what is it that drives these incredible people that we've been celebrating tonight and so many others? And I just share with you this one extraordinary fact about the geography of the land of Israel. Israel has 2 internal seas, the Sea of Galilee and the Dead Sea. The Sea of Galilee is full of life. The Dead Sea, as its name implies, has no life at all. And yet they are fed by the same river, the River Jordan. So what is the difference? And the answer is that the Galilee receives water and it gives water. The Dead Sea receives water, but it stops there. It doesn't give. In Judaism, in Jewish life, to give is life itself. And what this evening should tell us is that we can all be heroes. It doesn't matter on a big scale or a small scale. What matters is that we give to others. And that is how I have always defined Jewish life, to be true to our faith and a blessing to others, regardless of their faith. And we have seen tonight a real community of heroes. Friends, I'll be blunt with you. First of all, I want to say thank you to the person who really did it all. I'm just the front man. To my wife Elaine, without whom. To my incredible team of Joanna and Dan and Debbie, who keep me on the straight and narrow. And as someone who next month is going to turn 70 years old, I just share with you the wonderful remark of the late George Weidenfeld. You remember the Times used to do a little piece on everyone who had a birthday that day. And on his 92nd birthday, they interviewed George Weidenfeld. And the interviewer said, "Lord Weidenfeld, most people when they get to be 92 slow down. You seem to be speeding up. Why is that?" And he gave this most remarkable reply. He said, "When you get to be 92, you begin to see the door beginning to close. And I have so much to do before the door closes that the older I get, the harder I have to work." Friends, let me encourage all of you. Work hard for the sake of others. It will keep you young. Be true to your faith and a blessing to others regardless of their faith. And let us all be humbly proud that we live in a community of heroes. Thank you and bless you.
incredible. Such an honor to meet you, sir. Great to see you.